Welcome to the deep dive. We dig into your sources, pull out the key insights, the real nuggets of knowledge.
Yeah, think of it as your shortcut to getting up to speed on complex stuff. We try to add, a few interesting facts, maybe a bit of humor.
Keep you hooked. So today we're diving into this really fascinating novel, Here One Moment.
Hmm.
It really throws you into the deep end with unexpected predictions.
And our obsession, right, our human obsession with knowing what's coming next.
Exactly. So our mission today, we want to unpack that tricky dance between, let's say, fate and free will when you're suddenly faced with these, well, unsettling prophecies.
We'll explore how different people react, how they grapple with the unknown, and how sometimes pure coincidence can really start to look like destiny.
And what does it even mean to be well-informed when life is just inherently uncertain? Okay, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So it all starts on what seems like a totally mundane flight, Hobart to Sydney.
Right. You've got the usual suspects on board, a hipster guy with his arm in a sling, a young mom looking frazzled, a grumpy kid flying solo, an older couple.
The usual mix, but there's this one lady, and she stands out, weirdly, because she doesn't stand out at all.
Nothing about her seems unusual until there's this unexpected delay.
Ah, the delay.
And that's when she starts making these startling predictions. Cause of death, age of death, for different passengers.
But the strange thing is, nobody remembers her saying anything before this. Like, not a word.
Exactly. She's not asking for water, not complaining about the delay, nothing. And these predictions, they just come out louder and more confident each time.
People start talking.
Right.
But maybe more confused than alarmed at first.
Yeah, bemused maybe, until she gets specific.
Okay, so who notices first?
That would be Leo Vodnik. He's this 42-year-old civil engineer sitting in 4C. He's got heartburn, stressing about work, miss his daughter's play. You know the type.
Yeah, life feels a bit out of control already for him.
Right. And he sees her. She unbuckles her seatbelt, stands up, and touches this tiny brooch on her blouse.
The brooch.
Yeah.
He thought it looked kind of old world familiar somehow.
And then he hears it. She's talking to an elderly couple, saying cause of death, age of death. And Leo, maybe because he's already feeling powerless, he gets it. She's predicting.
Wow. Okay, so these predictions start landing. How do people react? It must create ripples.
Oh, huge ripples. And everyone reacts differently. It's like a case study in human psychology. Let's start with Sue and Max O'Sullivan.
The chatty couple from Hobart, eager to share holiday snaps.
That's them. So Sue gets told pancreatic cancer at age 66.
Oof, that's heavy. And Maxie's a plumber, right? A fixer.
Exactly. And that's the thing. He can literally visualize how things work, how to fix them. But this, he can't fix this. And it completely throws him. You see him wrestling with this worry he just can't plumb away.
But Sue, she handles it differently.
Well, initially they're both uneasy, obviously. But later, Sue starts saying she feels in excellent health. They decide, okay, let's just live carpe diem, right?
So they embrace life.
Totally. They start salsa dancing lessons. Sue even talks about her charm bracelet, with symbols for her kids and grandkids.
Yeah.
She says there's room now for a tiny salsa dancer. It's like this little symbol of their renewed grip on life.
But Max is still struggling underneath it all.
Yeah, he kind of wishes they'd never even gone on the trip. They start having these really blunt talks about funerals. Max is like, don't care, won't be there, your mother's in charge. It's pragmatic, maybe, but you can feel his struggle, his attempt to control something.
It's fascinating how we try to manage fear.
Yeah. Okay, who else? Then you have the newlyweds, Eve and Dominic Archer-Fern, just back from their honeymoon.
Oh no, what's their prediction?
It's brutal for Eve. She's told her husband, Dom, will kill her at age 25.
Oh my God, that's horrific.
And it gets worse. Eve discovers Dom sleepwalks and sleep talks. It started when he was 6, right after his mom left.
So there's this history, this underlying vulnerability.
Exactly. And Dom remembers sleepwalking before, does some research online about homicidal sleepwalking.
Oh, that's terrifying.
He gets so consumed by fear that Eve actually finds him handcuffing himself to the bed at night to protect her.
Wow. And they're dealing with money problems too, right? After the wedding.
Yeah, big time. Eve mentions how eating regular food was so expensive, the stress is immense. She even has this really dark thought, like, but Eve, there is nothing to look forward to in your life now.
That post-wedding crash combined with mortal terror. Awful.
They even flinch when someone says the word divorce. But Eve, in a moment of maybe fear or cruelty, says to Dom, so what if we do divorce? I marry someone else and he ends up killing me when I'm 25.
Yikes. The prediction is just poisoning everything.
It really is. Then there's Paula Benici, the young mother on the flight with her baby, Timmy, and toddler, Willow.
Okay, what happens to her?
Willow gets a prediction. Pneumonia, 103. Pretty good, right?
Seems okay, but Timmy.
Timmy, the baby, is predicted to drown at age 7.
Oh, no.
And Paula just transforms. She becomes this obsessive protector, even though she says she thinks the predictions are rubbish.
Her actions say otherwise.
Totally. She enrolls Timmy in 3 different swim schools, 6 lessons a week. Her logic is, if Timmy never goes near water, he won't drown. Which,
Isn't quite how drowning works, or life.
Yeah.
You can see the anxiety taking over.
Absolutely. Her sister Lisa sees it too. Paul is spiraling. Lisa suggests she see Dr. Donnelly again.
Dr. Donnelly.
Paula's therapist, who helped her with OCD before. Paula thought she'd outgrown it, but this stress, it's triggered it again. Her mind is just trying to find some way to cope with the randomness, even if it means obsessive behavior.
It makes sense, in a tragic way. Okay, who else stands out?
Hayden Chang. He's on the flight mourning his friend Harvey, who just died.
Right. What's his prediction? It gets confused, doesn't it?
Yeah. Initially, he thinks he hears drug-induced death at 37. Then it's clarified as cardiac arrest, age 91. But then he somehow lands on thinking it's die in a fight when I'm 30.
So he's got this fear of violence now.
Exactly. He becomes hyper-vigilant, constantly scanning the streets, looking for threats. He even says it makes him understand a bit more what it might be like for women, always having that background awareness.
That's an interesting side effect.
He lives with Jasmine, who he likes, but there's this difficult ex-boyfriend Carter in the picture. Ethan starts thinking about probability, like the birthday paradox.
The idea that in a small group, it's surprisingly likely 2 people share a birthday.
Right. And he realizes Harvey dying doesn't actually change his odds of dying. It's separate. He starts thinking about stoicism, too. Carter has this coin, memento mori, remember you must die.
Remember you must die. Use your time well.
Yeah. Ethan tries to use that idea, not waste time on trivial shit, focus on what he can control.
Trying to find a philosophical anchor. Okay, one more.
Allegra, the flight attendant. She's the one trying to manage the lady making the predictions.
Right, she's caught in the middle. What's her prediction? Or is it about her?
The lady actually says something to Allegra's mother later, predicting Allegra will self-harm or get depression by her 28th birthday.
Oh, that's awful. Especially for a mother to hear.
And Allegra's already dealing with a lot. She has this really bad back pain from an incident with a passenger in a caftan and a kid vomiting.
Just a typical day in customer service, sounds like.
Pretty much. So she tries to brush off the prediction, but her family freaks out. Her mom starts trying to appease various deities. Her brother, Taj, he's a doctor, dismisses the idea of, preventative antidepressants.
So it adds another layer of stress for her.
Definitely. And she's also navigating this tricky relationship with the first officer, Jonathan Summers, feeling overly invested, trying to figure him out. The prediction just feeds into her existing anxieties.
So you have all these people wrestling with these predictions in their own ways, but then things start happening, right? The predictions gain traction.
Yeah, this is where it gets really disturbing. Some of the predictions start coming true.
Okay, like what? Let's talk about Kayla Halfpenny.
Right. Remember the frowny 40-ish woman wearing one of those wildly colored sequined caftan-type tops?
The one predicted pneumonia at 94.
Well, Kayla was a different passenger, a young woman. She was told she'd die in a car accident at 19.
Don't tell me.
She does. Exactly as predicted. Car accident, age 19.
Oh, God. That's awful.
And to make it even more horrifying, her friend was live streaming on social media when it happened.
No.
Yes. So the crash, the prediction, it all goes viral. Paula and Sue, who met Kayla on the flight, are deeply disturbed. Suddenly, this isn't just some weird incident on a plane. There's online chatter, tabloid articles about the so-called plane psychic.
It validates the fear for everyone else. It makes it real.
Precisely. Then you have the Baileys, the retired doctor couple.
The ones who found it all kind of entertaining.
They were told they'd die of old age at 100 and 101. They do. They die peacefully, a day apart, right on schedule. Their daughter even calls it sad, but not a tragedy.
Wow. A good death, almost.
Yeah.
That must have just added fuel to the fire about the psychic.
Absolutely. And it hits Leo hard. He feels this, envy because his own parents never got that kind of peaceful end, their retirement dreams unfulfilled. It really highlights how we frame death based on our own experiences and fears.
Okay, are there other predictions that come true?
Well, there's a really significant one, though the other passengers didn't witness the prediction itself. It concerns Cherry's husband, Ned Lockwood.
Cherry being the death lady.
Yes. Her husband, Ned, died of a heart attack, age 64, while napping on a flight from Hobart to Sydney.
The same route.
Same route. And Cherry herself was on that flight when he died. It was a profound personal loss for her, obviously. He sounds like he was full of life, maybe a bit impatient.
So her own experience with sudden loss on that's crucial context we're getting later.
Exactly. And then there's one more twist that complicates things. Remember the caftan woman?
Predicted pneumonia at 94.
Right. Well, she dies suddenly in her sleep at age 45.
Wait, so that prediction was completely wrong.
Completely wrong. Which leads Allegra's brother, Taj, the doctor, to dryly comment, karma is a bitch. It adds this element of, well, randomness back into the mix. Maybe the psychic isn't infallible after all.
So things are getting complicated. Some predictions right, some wrong. Let's finally turn to the source. Who is this woman? Cherry Lockwood.
Okay, so the big reveal. Cherry Lockwood is a retired actuary.
An actuary, like insurance and statistics.
Exactly. Someone who spends their entire career applying statistical analysis to biological data. Her job, for years, was literally to answer the question, how and when will people die? But for groups, for insurance risk pools.
So she wasn't psychic, she was calculating.
She admits it. She says the predictions on the plane weren't psychic at all. It was just her doing a quick analysis of the data available. Basically, educated guesses based on visual cues and actuarial knowledge for her own amusement, she claims.
Own amusement? That caused so much chaos. So she was applying group stats to individuals.
Which she knows professionally you shouldn't really do accurately.
Right.
She did it anyway. And her background is fascinating. Her mother was a fortune teller.
Seriously, so divination on one side.
And logic on the other. Our father worked for the railways. Very meticulous guy. He taught her about probability. He specifically taught her about the Monte Carlo fallacy, the gambler's fallacy.
The coin having no memory. Each flip is independent.
Right. He drilled that into her. But her mother believed she'd foreseen her husband's death. Cherry's father died young, struck by lightning at 32. Her mother felt it, physically.
Wow. So Cherry grew up right in the middle of that conflict.
Yep. Yes.
Intuition versus logic.
Mm-hmm. And Cherry always leaned towards logic. She learned about Gödel's incompleteness theorem.
The idea that some true things can't be proven within a formal system.
Yeah, showing the inherent limitations of logic itself. So she understands logic isn't everything, even as she relies on it.
And her own life has had so much loss. Her father, her first love, Jack Murphy.
Yeah, Jack died in Vietnam, his conscription decided by a birthday ballot. Pure chance, devastating consequences.
And then her husband Ned's death on that flight.
Which clearly shattered her.
Yeah.
Looking back, she tries to reframe her own visions or predictions. She says maybe they were just attempts to warn people to be careful or more symbolic. She even admits, I could imagine it happening. Not that she knew.
Trying to rationalize it after the fact, perhaps.
Yeah.
What about the brooch Leo noticed?
Ah, the brooch. It wasn't some ancient symbol. It was the Kronecker delta.
A mathematical symbol.
Yes, a function that's either 0 or 1. Very precise. It ties directly into her actuarial background, her love of maths as this beautiful universal language. It's like her personal sigil of logic.
That's brilliant. A hidden clue to her true nature.
And after Ned dies, she finds his notebooks. He had started this practice, writing down one good thing every single day, especially after going through depression.
Oh, that's lovely and sad.
It brings back all these memories for Cherry, helps her process her grief. And here's another twist. Her mother, the fortune teller, in her last reading for Cherry, had told her to look for the notebooks.
Whoa, so a moment where her mother's world and her logical world kind of collided.
Exactly. A detail she only connected later, so eventually Cherry feels she has to do something.
She reaches out.
Yes, to some of the passengers. Paula, Allegra. She apologizes. She tells them flat out, I have no ability to see the future.
Does she explain the actuary thing?
She explains it was pure chance that any predictions came true. She even gives Paula practical advice about Timmy. Yes, he needs swimming lessons. Yes, avoid dangerous places like blowholes, but that's just common sense, not prophecy. She stresses, just because you can swim doesn't mean you can't drown.
Trying to undo the damage, inject some reality back in.
Yeah.
But how does this land? How do the passengers live with this knowledge or lack thereof? What's the aftermath?
Right. How does life change after something like this? Let's look at Leo again. He was already feeling the strain of his job.
The demanding boss, Lilith, his wife, called a bully. Missing family stuff.
Yeah. And the predictions, especially the ones that came true, really rattled him. His wife, Neve, pushes him. What will you regret on your deathbed? And for Leo, it's clear, working so damn hard.
So he starts thinking about a different life.
He does. More time with family, quitting the job, moving back to Tasmania. And then there's this incident at work. He nearly falls into a muddy trench.
A potential workplace accident.
Exactly. But Sherry happens to be there and shouts his name, warns him. Sherry later thinks it probably wouldn't have killed him, wasn't really a workplace accident risk anyway. But for Leo, it's a catalyst. He makes the change. He quits.
He took control back. What about Sue and Max, the salsa dancers?
They continue to love life, still dancing, still having those frank conversations about wills and funerals. Sue says the whole thing, despite Max's initial fear, actually strengthened them, made them talk about things they hadn't before.
So for them, it led to deeper connection.
It seems so. Even Dom, though, the newlyweds, their reality's tougher.
Still struggling with money. And the sleepwalking fear.
Yeah, eating 2-minute noodles, Dom's still terrified he might harm Eve, sleeping separately sometimes. But Eve has this shift. She realizes their perfect beginning doesn't mean a perfect life. She internalizes, this is not how the real world works, Eve.
A reality check.
But also a realization of agency. She feels this surge of strength and optimism. The future, she decides, is in her hands, not dictated by that awful prediction.
That's a powerful shift. But Paula, the mother worried about Timmy drowning.
Ah, Paula, even after Kara's apology and explanation, she keeps going. The obsessive swimming lessons, writing, Timmy will not drown, over and over.
The OCD is still driving her.
She recognizes it herself. She knows it's linked to her OCD, which Dr. Donnelly warned could flare up. She knows she has the coping techniques, but she also admits sometimes she might need a little help. It shows how deep these patterns can run.
Yeah, belief or maybe anxiety is hard to just switch off. And Ethan, the one grappling with loss and the fight prediction.
Ethan's still processing Harvey's death, still more aware of potential violence around him. But he finds comfort in his friendship with Jasmine. And the stoicism, the memento mori idea, seems to stick.
Focusing on what he can control.
Right. He has this important realization. Ethan is not the center of the universe. Harvey's death does not make Ethan any less or more likely to die. It grounds him. It's a move towards acceptance.
And finally, Allegra, the flight attendant.
She recovers from her back injury, mostly without surgery. She has to deal with her mother's ongoing worry about the self-harm prediction, but she also gets that handwritten apology from Cherry.
Does it help?
It seems to contribute to a shift. She reflects on this, saying the difference between a pilot and an aviator is lightness of touch. It suggests she's finding a new way to navigate things, maybe with less force, more finesse, control versus influence.
And her relationship with Johnny, the pilot.
She starts to see it differently, too. Realizes her feelings are deeper than she thought. She's moving from just reacting to life to consciously choosing her path.
And Cherry herself. How does she end up?
Cherry finds solace in Ned's one good thing notebooks. It seems to help her accept the randomness, the unpredictability she spent her career trying to quantify.
She accepts the limits of her own logic.
Yeah, she acknowledges her job was about groups, not individuals. She seems to embrace the paradox. Both your wildest dreams and your worst nightmares can come true. It's a kind of peace, maybe, found not in certainty, but in acceptance of uncertainty.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway from this deep dive into Here One Moment?
Well, it really hammers home that the future is, fundamentally uncertain. But our responses to what we think might happen, whether it's based on a real prediction, a misinterpretation, or just anxiety, those responses profoundly shape our present.
That drive for certainty, for control, it's so powerful. Whether you're using actuarial tables like Cherry or latching onto a perceived psychic insight.
Right. But what's fascinating is how the fear of an outcome, or even the hope for one, can be this massive motivator. It can push us to act, to change things, maybe even avert the thing we feared. Or sometimes it just prepares us for what's coming anyway.
So is it the prediction itself that has the power? Or is it our belief in it?
That seems to be the core question, doesn't it? The novel suggests our interpretation, our belief, and the actions we take because of that belief, that's where the real power lies. We kind of co-author our fate through how we react to perceived certainty.
So a final thought for you listening.
Yeah.
If you genuinely believed, like truly believed, a specific future was set in stone for you, how would that change your choices today?
Yeah, would you fight it? Would you lean into it? Or maybe, what if just thinking, the future is the very thing that ends up shaping it?
How much is destiny? How much is chance? And how much is just Us responding to the chaos.
Yeah.
Something to think about.